The internet, in particular social media, has given rise to a concerning number of disturbing conspiracy theories over the years, that if true, could change the way we live our lives. In this video, we'll be exploring the potential reasons why extraterrestrial beings remain silent, as well as investigating the troubling connections between a former US president and a series of unexpected fatalities. Grab your tinfoil hat, lock the doors, hit those lights, and enjoy. Ghislaine Maxwell's secret Reddit account. In July 2020, Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested and charged by the US federal government with enticing minors and sex trafficking due to her role as Jeffrey Epstein's recruiter. In December 2021, she was convicted on 5 out of 6 counts, including the sex trafficking of a minor. Maxwell also faces a second trial for pre-jury related to false statements she made under oath regarding Epstein's abuse of underage girls. She is currently incarcerated at the Federal Correctional Institution in Tallahassee, Florida. But since her arrest, accusations have emerged on Reddit suggesting that one of the platform's most prominent users, Maxwell Hill, might actually have been Ghislaine Maxwell. Proponents of this theory point to several pieces of evidence, including the shared last name Maxwell, and that the Hill part pertains to the Maxwell family home in Headington Hill Hall in the UK. The timing of the user's posting activity eerily aligns with Ghislaine Maxwell's public appearances. Some believe that the language in Maxwell Hill's posts also suggests international travel and a concerning attitude towards paedophilia. This theory gained traction because user Maxwell Hill, who was once very active on Reddit, one of the platform's most active users, has not posted since before July 2nd, 2020, the day of Ghislaine's arrest. This was their last post. Conspiracy theorists claim that gaps in the user's posting history also correspond with significant events in Maxwell's life, such as the death of her mother in 2013 and other high-profile events, suggesting that she was unable to post about various topics due to her circumstances. They also reference a 2011 Gizmodo article where Maxwell Hill mentioned being busy with a business venture thought to be the Terra Mar Project, a marine conservation non-profit organization founded by Ghislaine Maxwell in 2012. So is it a coincidence that user Maxwell Hill was a moderator of Our Environment and the smaller subreddit Our Enviro Action, featuring many posts about ocean protection? They also highlight that Maxwell Hill claims to be born in December, like Ghislaine, and uses a mixture of British and US spelling as well as French slang. Maxwell was born in France, raised in the United Kingdom, and has an American passport. User Maxwell Hill is one of the most famous Reddit users ever, being the first to receive over 1 million karma points, and remains among the top 10 earners with nearly 15 million points. Additionally, they moderate several well-known communities, including world news, travel, health, environment, and Bad Cop No Donut, which focuses on police misconduct. Some believe that Maxwell Hill has used her influence to sway public opinion, normalize paedophilia, and cover up crimes. In 2022, the conspiracy seriously ramped up when on April 19th a photo was posted on the Plain Sight Twitter account that appeared to show an email exchange from May 2016 between convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and Elon Musk. Epstein purportedly asked Musk, "Elon, were you able to meet up with Ghislaine at Kung Fu practice on Saturday?" Musk supposedly replied to Epstein with, "I did, thank you." The day of the alleged meetup, user Maxwell Hill uncharacteristically posted a science/space type post, with conspiracy theorists believing that was what she had discussed with Musk during their Kung Fu session. Posts discussing this conspiracy theory have received thousands of upvotes across various subreddits, particularly in r/conspiracy and r/Epstein. However, other Reddit users have expressed their concern for the actual Maxwell Hill, who has been linked, some say without full evidence, to a known associate of a convicted paedophile. One user described Maxwell Hill as just some guy. Now we've looked deeply into these posts, and what the theories are claiming has some truth to it. It's also quite hard to find information on the topic through Google, which we find incredibly strange. Try it for yourself. Type in Ghislaine Maxwell Reddit account. There's tons of articles online, but they do not immediately come up on Google, which we find strange. Now, there's currently no way to prove whether user Maxwell Hill is Ghislaine Maxwell without Reddit.com coming forward and confirming it. And considering that some have suggested their involvement in the conspiracy, this seems very unlikely to happen. What do you make of this one? I'll tell you now, once you go down this rabbit hole, it's hard to come out of, so approach with caution. The death of Beverly Eckert. Beverly Eckert and Sean Rooney lived in Glenbrook, Stamford, Connecticut, and had been married for 21 years. Their lives, along with thousands of others, changed forever on September 11, 2001. On that day, Sean was an employee of Aon, a risk assessment company in the insurance business, and worked on the 19th floor of the South Tower of the World Trade Center. That morning, he called his wife and left her voicemail messages. Upon learning about the attacks, Beverly called him back, and by this time he had managed to reach the 105th floor and was trying to get to the roof. She stayed on the phone after he became trapped and heard a loud explosion as the building collapsed. The line went dead, and the two were never to speak to one another again. In the aftermath of the attacks, Beverly became a prominent advocate for families affected by the tragedy. She worked with others to establish the 9/11 Commission, enhance national security, and create a memorial at the World Trade Center. She also urged federal officials to implement stronger protections against terrorism and advocated for reforms in US intelligence, while expressing her opposition to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. She collaborated with city officials on various memorial projects and planted birch trees in Cove Island Park in memory of her husband, and commissioned a mural at the Glenbrook train station, which he frequently used for his commute. On December 19, 2003, Eckert published an extraordinary manifesto titled, "My Silence Cannot Be Bought." Here is what she wrote. "I've chosen to go to court rather than accept a payoff from the 9/11 Victims Compensation Fund. Instead, I want to understand what went so wrong with our intelligence and security systems that a group of religious fanatics was able to turn 4 US passenger jets into an enemy force, attack our cities, and kill 3,000 civilians with terrifying ease. I want to know why 2 110-story skyscrapers collapsed in less than 2 hours, and why escape and rescue options were so limited. The Victims Fund was not created out of compassion. It was in fact a tacit acknowledgement by Congress that it tampered with our civil justice system in an unprecedented way. So I say to Congress, big business, and everyone who conspired to divert attention from government and private sector failures, my husband's life was priceless, and I will not allow his death to be meaningless. My silence cannot be bought." After years of tireless campaigning to uncover the truth about 9/11, tragedy struck again for Eckert and her family when she was killed in the crash of Cologne Air Flight 3407 near Buffalo, New York, on February 12, 2009, killing all 49 passengers and crew. At the time, she was travelling to a family gathering to commemorate her late husband's 58th birthday on February 15th, and was scheduled to present a scholarship in his honour at Canisius High School. On June 18, 2009, her sister's executor, Margaret Eckert, filed a lawsuit in New Haven, Connecticut against Cologne Air, Pinnacle Airlines, and Continental Airlines, claiming that they were responsible for the crash. The FBI's involvement in the crash raised suspicions of foul play, and conspiracy theorists went into overdrive after it was revealed Eckert met with President Obama at the White House, urging him to initiate a second investigation into the events of 9/11. So the question is, had Eckert got too close to the truth about the events that day and had to be silenced? A fate that has befallen other researchers and activists? I guess we'll never know. To date, a second investigation into 9/11 has not taken place. The Dark Forest Theory. It's estimated that there are billions of Earth-like planets in the Milky Way galaxy alone, and potentially trillions more throughout the universe. So are we being naive to think that Earth is the only habitable planet, the only one where any form of life can survive? This question has been asked and studied since the discovery of space. Given the infinite nature of the universe, the idea that life does not exist outside of Earth seems inconceivable. Perhaps the bigger question is, why haven't we discovered it yet? The number of alien civilizations that may exist in the galaxy can be estimated using the Drake equation, a formula created by Frank Drake in 1961. When applied, this equation suggests that there should be at least 20 civilizations in our cosmic neighborhood. Given this estimate, it's puzzling that we have not yet discovered any other forms of life in the universe, as far as we are aware. The significant discrepancy between the expected number of advanced civilizations in space and the lack of evidence for any is known as the Fermi paradox. This paradox has led to numerous theories and potential solutions over the past few decades. Some suggest that the emergence of life is a rare event, meaning that some civilizations may exist only for a short time before self-destruction, or that they might never develop the technology to make contact. However, another solution, known as the dark forest theory, proposes that there is extraterrestrial life out there, but for various reasons, aliens have deliberately chosen to avoid us, keeping silent out of fear of being discovered and eliminated by potentially hostile advanced civilizations, like us. It is very likely that they are hostile too, leading them to believe that other civilizations would be the same. The theory likens the universe to a dark forest, where fear and the unknown surround you as you cautiously move through the trees, hoping not to be noticed or attacked by something unknown. Just as we can feel lost in a forest, alien life may be hesitant to confront the unknown, fearing that doing so could make them immediate targets for destruction. This theory has been explored in the Netflix series Three-Body Problem, based on the Chinese science fiction trilogy. So after a century of searching, could the reason we haven't detected any signs of alien life be that they have chosen to remain silent out of fear? Are we putting our planet in danger by continuing to send signals to potentially hostile civilizations? If they have valid reasons to hide, as Stephen Hawking suggested, this could lead to serious consequences. If this theory is correct, should we stop broadcasting our existence to a society that may be more malicious than our own? What do you make of this one? The Clinton body count. The belief that Bill and Hillary Clinton have secretly killed their political enemies has been circulating for decades. The Clinton body count conspiracy theory has gained considerable traction online, suggesting a sinister connection between the Clintons and a series of mysterious and unexplained deaths. This theory posits that former US President Bill Clinton and his wife, former US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, have orchestrated the murders of their political opponents, often disguising these acts as suicide. Reportedly, the list of alleged victims includes more than 50 individuals. The body count theory originated in 1993 with Linda Thompson, an Indianapolis lawyer and militia activist, who created a list of 34 people connected to the Clintons who had died. She titled it The Clinton Body Count, Coincidence or the Kiss of Death. Although Thompson admitted that she had no direct evidence linking Clinton to any deaths, she suggested that the deaths were very likely caused by people trying to control the president, without naming any specific individuals. A documentary released in 1994 titled The Clinton Chronicles, an investigation into the alleged criminal activities of Bill Clinton, accused Bill of various crimes, including murder. The theory first gained traction in 1987 with the deaths of Arkansas teenagers Don Henry and Kevin Ives, who were found dead on railroad tracks. Their deaths were initially ruled as accidental, but were later reclassified as homicides after a second autopsy. Conspiracy theorists, including Kevin's mother, Linda, believe the boys were killed after witnessing a drug drop linked to Barry Seal, and that Bill Clinton covered it up. Other notable deaths associated with the Clintons include C. Victor Razor II, Bill Clinton's National Finance Co-Chairman, who died in a plane crash on July 30th, 1992, near Dillingham, Alaska, along with his son and 4 others. Mary Mohoney, a former White House intern, who was shot during a robbery in a Starbucks in Georgetown in 1997. Some conspiracy theorists claim that she was killed on the orders of the Clintons. John F. Kennedy Jr., a prominent figure in New York politics, died in a plane crash on July 16, 1999, while planning to run for the Senate seat vacated by Senator Daniel Neuenham, a seat that Hillary Clinton later won. Jerry Parks, head of security for the Clinton campaign in 1992, was shot 10 times in Little Rock, Arkansas, on September 26, 1993, his son claimed his father had damaging information about Clinton, and more recently, Kobe Bryant and 8 others were killed in a helicopter crash on January 26, 2020. The QAnon movement claimed the crash was orchestrated to prevent Bryant from exposing financial misconduct by the Clintons. Haitian President Jovenel Moïse was assassinated on July 7, 2021. His wife Martine was injured in the attack. Conspiracy theorists allege that the Clintons were involved due to controversies surrounding the Clinton Foundation's aid to Haiti, particularly regarding unsafe classroom trailers. The QAnon movement also discussed their potential involvement online, causing the term Clintons to trend on Twitter. And perhaps the most controversial of all the deaths linked to the Clintons was that of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, who was found dead in his cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan on August 10, 2019. An autopsy ruled his death as a suicide by hanging, which sparked conspiracy theories on social media. Trump retweeted claims linking Epstein's death to Clinton, using the hashtag ClintonBodyCount, and political commentator Sinesh D'Souza expressed support for the theory that the Clintons were responsible for Epstein's death. There are many more deaths allegedly linked to the Clintons, and more outrageous claims suggesting they are also responsible for the deaths of Anthony Bourdain, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and Queen Elizabeth II. While it is true that the Clintons had connections to all the individuals mentioned, there is no evidence to support the claims that they are responsible for these deaths. Or is there? What do you make of this theory? We could do a lot more digging on this one, but something tells us we probably shouldn't. The Boeing Conspiracy and the Death of Joshua Dean and John Barnett. Joshua Dean and John Barnett were both former employees of Boeing who raised significant concerns about the safety of their aircraft. Their allegations of manufacturing defects and safety issues led to an ongoing investigation and legal actions against Boeing. In January 2024, the investigation escalated when the door plug of an Alaskan Airlines 737 MAX 9 blew off during a flight. Fortunately, all passengers and crew survived. However, the incident prompted more than 100 whistleblowers to come forward and report their concerns about the company to the Federal Aviation Administration. By the end of May 2024, both Dean and Barnett ended up dead, raising questions about whether their deaths were coincidental or conspiracy. Joshua Dean was a former quality auditor at Spirit Aerosystems, an aircraft manufacturer responsible for producing crucial components for Boeing aircraft. He started working at the facility in Wichita, Kansas, in 2019, after graduating from college with a degree in mechanical engineering. He was laid off in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic, but was rehired in May 2021 as a quality auditor. In this role, Dean discovered defects in the manufacture of the Boeing 737 MAX, the fourth generation of Boeing's commercial 737 aircraft. Dean expressed his concerns and claimed that Spirit Airlines ignored them, even after he filed a complaint with the FAA. After reiterating the issues in October 2022, he found that Spirit still took no action. In April 2023, he was fired, which he alleged was retaliation for raising these concerns, and served as a warning to others to remain silent about the defects. Following the Alaska Airlines incident, Dean's allegations sparked increased scrutiny of both Boeing and Spirit. In April 2024, 45-year-old Dean suddenly fell ill and was admitted to hospital due to difficulty breathing. He was intubated, but later developed pneumonia and a serious bacterial infection known as MRSA. His condition deteriorated rapidly, and he was airlifted from Wichita to a hospital in Oklahoma City, where he was placed on an ECMO machine, which circulates and oxygenates a patient's blood outside the body, taking over heart and lung function when the organs cannot perform on their own. A CT scan revealed that he had suffered a stroke, and at one point, doctors considered amputating both his hands and feet. Sadly, the previous fit and healthy man suffered a brutal death on May 1st, at age 45. In a similar circumstance, John Barnett suffered the same fate. Barnett worked for Boeing for over 30 years and raised several concerns about production of the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. From 2010 to 2017, he served as a quality control manager at the Boeing plant in South Carolina, where he voiced ongoing concerns about manufacturing defects. In 2013, he faced a downgrade after raising concerns about process violations, claiming management pressured employees not to document defects, leading to inaccurate records. During an inspection at Spirit Aerosystems, he identified 300 defects, but was told that was too many. On a follow-up visit, he was excluded, and only 50 of the defects were reported. In 2016, he reported a senior manager for installing a damaged hydraulic tube, but again, no action was taken. In 2017, Barnett's team discovered that 25% of the 787 oxygen systems would fail in emergencies, which management ignored. He alerted the FAA, who later confirmed there was an issue. Similar to Dean, Barnett was demoted and removed from management, which he said was retaliation for his complaints. He was later reinstated but assigned to a different department. In 2017, he filed an FAA Air 21 whistleblower campaign against Boeing, claiming several inadequacies in quality control that compromised flight safety. That same year, he retired and filed a lawsuit against Boeing, alleging that they undermined his career because he raised safety concerns. Barnett appeared in the 2022 Netflix documentary Downfall: The Case Against Boeing, and participated in several newspaper and TV interviews. In early 2024, he raised additional concerns about Boeing's work culture and vehicle safety after the Alaska Airlines Flight 1282 incident. On March 9, 2024, Barnett was found dead from a gunshot wound in Charleston, South Carolina. The medical examiner ruled his death as a suicide amid ongoing personal distress related to the lawsuit. The death of both whistleblowers has sparked conspiracy theories and increased scrutiny of Boeing's safety practices, raising speculation about whether they were killed to silence them. It also raises the question of how safe it is to fly on a Boeing aircraft. What do you make of this?